Welcome. Today we're addressing a critical topic, the connection between the Epstein files and the recent shooting incident of Charlie Kirk. There have been claims circulating online that suggest a link between the recent release of the Epstein files and a shooting incident. We're here to clarify this misconception. First, let's understand what the Epstein files are. These documents contain details related to the civil lawsuits against Jeffrey Epstein, focusing on allegations of sex trafficking and abuse. Now, regarding the shooting incident, law enforcement agencies are currently investigating the matter, and details are still emerging. Here's what we know so far. The single gunshot ripped through the tense afternoon air, not with a dramatic roar, but with a sharp, concussive crack that was instantly recognizable to anyone who had ever been on a firing range. It was a sound that belonged to a different world, one of metal and force, not the sun-drenched courtyard of Utah Valley University. The crowd, a mix of students, curious onlookers, and ardent supporters, collectively froze. For a half second, no one moved. Then Charlie Kirk, mid-sentence, slumped back in his chair, a sudden splotch of red blossoming on his neck. Chaos. A woman screamed. A student dropped his backpack and sprinted. The carefully constructed scene of political debate collapsed into a primal scramble for survival. But even in the panic, the cold efficiency of the act was apparent. One shot. One target. Was it a Democrat or a Republican? The question hung in the air, a phantom accusation in the hours after the assassination. The political world immediately fractured. On the right, pundits and politicians were quick to point fingers at the radical left, citing the online petitions that had sought to have Kirk's event canceled, and the general climate of political animosity. On the left, there was a collective shudder of revulsion and a call for calm, with many fearing that such an act would only escalate the cycle of political violence. Without a suspect, however, the question remained a Rorschach test for a polarized nation. The shooter's political leanings, if any, were known only to them. A woman or a man? Like the political affiliation, the gender of the shooter was a matter of pure speculation. The grainy security footage showed a figure in dark clothing on the rooftop of the nearby Luzie Center, but the distance and the quality of the image made identification impossible. Was it a professional hit? All signs pointed to it. The shot was fired from over 200 yards away. The single bullet found its mark with chilling precision, severing the carotid artery. It was a shot designed to kill instantly and efficiently, not to create a public spectacle or cause mass casualties. The shooter melted away into the chaos, leaving no trace but the recovered high-powered rifle. The lack of a dramatic scene, the targeted nature of the shot, and the clean escape all suggested the work of someone with training and skill. Was it a Palestinian? The question was whispered in the darker corners of the internet and on fringe media, but it had no basis in fact. There was no evidence to link the shooting to any pro-Palestinian group. The theory was a product of the current geopolitical climate and the tendency to assign blame to foreign actors for domestic tragedies. It was a baseless accusation, but in the fever pitch of the moment, it found a small, receptive audience. Was it an attempt to change the news cycle away from the Epstein files? This was a conspiracy theory that gained surprising traction among those who believed in a vast, shadowy, quote, deep state. The release of the Epstein files had been a major news story, implicating many powerful and influential people. The theory posited that Kirk's assassination was a staged event, a dramatic spectacle orchestrated to shift the public's attention away from the damning documents. While far-fetched and without a shred of evidence, it tapped into a pervasive distrust of institutions and a belief that nothing is as it seems. A targeted act of political martyrdom? This was a less discussed but equally chilling possibility. What if the shooter wasn't a political foe, but a misguided acolyte? Someone who believed that Kirk's message was being ignored and that his death would ignite a political revolution? The single, precise shot could be seen not just as an assassination, but as a ritual sacrifice, a shot heard round the world meant to galvanize a movement. This theory was terrifying because it suggested a new, more dangerous form of political violence, one born not of opposition, but of zealous devotion. A lone individual with a personal vendetta? For all the grand theories of political conspiracy and martyrdom, the simplest explanation was perhaps the most mundane and tragic. What if the shooter was just one person, driven by a personal obsession, a perceived slight, or a deep-seated grievance? The lone wolf theory is often the hardest to stomach, as it lacks the clear political or ideological lines that people often seek in such events. It's the terrifying randomness of a single person's rage, a motive that may never be fully understood, leaving a void where a neat explanation should be. It's crucial to state that there is no confirmed evidence or official statement linking the shooting incident to the release of the Epstein files. Investigations are ongoing, and speculation can be harmful. In times like these, it's more important than ever to rely on verified information from credible sources. Let's all commit to dispelling rumors and relying on facts. Stay informed through official channels, and remember that critical thinking is our best tool against misinformation. There you have it, 7 theories about the Charlie Kirk shooting, a truly sad state of affairs. Please like and subscribe. Till next time, stay safe, everyone.